at City Hall on October 12, 2016. Ms. Barger was standing on a MAX platform at Southwest Jefferson across the street when police officers were clearing protesters so that the MAX trains could resume operations. She claims that an officer struck her arm without warning. The officer reported at the time that Ms. Barger grabbed his baton as he approached her and that he used a push-pull technique to get her to let go. The city disagrees with Ms. Barger's allegation that she was subject to unreasonable force, but in order to avoid further litigation costs and a possible adverse jury award, Risk Management at the City Attorney's Office recommended payment of $10,000, which includes medical bills, pain, suffering, and attorney's fees and costs.
Any questions from Ms. Chapp?
Just go up.
Hold the answer, please.
Go up.
We do have a sign-up sheet.
Okay, and
Go ahead, Bob.
would you read the first?
I am.
We were Dan, Robert West, and Charles Christian Johnson.
Go with 2 minutes if you need to run this down.
Thank you, Fritz, Council. I'm Dan Hamel with Cop Watch. I'm not here to argue about the settlement. I just want to continue to urge the council to go back to the policy of putting misconduct settlements on the regular agenda, to promote transparency and discuss the underlying issues. The fact that Ms. Barger's case is being settled after she filed a claim is rare, only in that many people who are harmed by police at protest actions don't make it this far as filing a claim. In this case, we're talking about protests where police we're doing things that we've seen many times in Cop Watch. They told people to move onto the sidewalk and then gave kind of anger to people even though they were actually following the original orders. For context, let's recognize this action took place over 2 years after the PPD began implementing the DOJ agreement and where they're supposed to de-escalate and use less force. Also, of course, the context is that this incident happened after City Council evacuated this chambers, leaving some of us locked in, went upstairs and voted on the Police Association contract in the heavily guarded Rose Room. After the vote was over and people stayed in the building to protest the contract, the police finally pushed them down to the stairs that were right across the breezeway there and outside into the street where they continued to use violence against the protesters. We definitely do not want to see a repeat of that kind of action after the council votes on the contract this time. I would appreciate the council's effort so far to be transparent about new contract negotiations. I also just want to raise the point that we read all the police review board reports and there's no report about this officer being held accountable for the incident that happened. I heard the risk management person say the city doesn't believe they did anything wrong, but that doesn't necessarily mean they didn't violate policies.
Yes, my name is Robert West, and I wanted to bring up the fact that the police are continuously being violent toward people. I see it every once in a while, but I see it a lot more in protests. I was there at City Hall when that happened. In fact, I was pushed down the stairs. And, to me, police doing things they're not supposed to do is commonplace. And police units changing their names, like the gang squad to the gun violence reduction team. And then they're out there doing the same thing anyway. Is really bothersome to me that the city even allows that. What?
Do you support or oppose the settlement?
I support the settlement. The city should pay the lady for her injuries and stuff like that, and any other stuff that she went through. But I'm just sitting there saying these other things are things that the city police do, and lead up to that kind of stuff. The police don't decide all of a sudden, hey, we're going to be violent today. It escalates from one, and then as they see things happen, that's when it gets worse and worse and worse. you know. City council has a duty to rein in their police officers. And on that day, they did not rein in their police officers.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Charles Bridge Crane Johnson, and this $10,000 that is rightfully being dispersed that you need to quickly pay out is important, but it's also important that you should consider if there are other persons besides myself and Ms. Barger and a long list of people. Now, some of these people definitely won't be filing complaints because they're dead. Sean Keeler, Yaka, Armenia Lewis, now dead, is in a picture near the area where Ms. Barger is taking another unconscious person off the back steps of City Hall. So in light of the violence that happened there and is now costing you at least $10,000. Why at least $10,000? Because on this agenda item, we're not talking about whether there are any other open complaints or pending litigation from the police violence that happened just over 3 years ago. So, I beg your pardon?
That's right, we're not talking about that, this
So-
item.
Yes, this item, but we can't continually isolate the expense of mistakes or intentional misconduct of police. If the city was really diligent to the people, if you on the council were diligent to the people that elected you, you would have a running clock, and every time a police settlement penalty would say, this $10,000 brings the bottom line of litigation against Portland Police Bureau up to $1,725,000 or whatever it is. Don't be afraid of transparency. In fact, I understand this is an individual business item, but people were severely injured, knocked unconscious, removed from the back steps of this building under the regime of the prior mayor during that weird lame duck time from when Ted Wheeler was elected in May and Charlie Hayes lame ducked his way through the police contract until January 2017 when the mayor came in and it was burdened with the police contract approved by the lame duck mayor. So that's the context if you're happy to pay out these $10,000 to this unfortunate woman who deserves this money. Thank you.
Thank you. Did anybody else sign up?
The last two are Maggie and Diane.
Please run to address this contract, which is whether or not she pays them.
I'm Maggie Portland, Homeless Town Hall. I believe I was up in Joanne Hardesty's office telling her receptionist about a couple of mentally ill people that I've seen around the tourist areas, and the police come and take them away in handcuffs, and they're unarmed. All they were doing
Like you
was...
said, it's November 2016, so anything that you talked about with Commissioner Hutton. That's it.
I support paying the money out because you need to be accountable when you do bad things. All right.
Good morning, my name is Diana, and I'm in support of this. I think that this is a very, very unfortunate situation, and I just, I mean, there's really not much to be said in regards to how this came about, but one of my questions in regards to with this payout is there going to be counseling that will be provided for Patricia to be able to process what's happened to her. I think that, you know, when you go through something traumatic and you're passionate about something and you're making yourself vulnerable by protesting, regardless of what the topic is, you know, it's difficult when you feel that your voice has been silenced, and then for this event to have happened in 2016 and we're now, you know, in 2019, many years later, I wonder if counseling has been offered to her in order to just process this traumatic event, because to be in a crowd, to be injured, and to had to fight to get to this point today, I mean, that takes a lot of strength. And I think that she should be able to have the opportunity to speak with someone about this in a counseling session if she chooses.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Betrayal was trust.
Megan, your time is done, thank you. This is an emergency ordinance, please call the roll.
Bailey?
Aye.
Fish?
Aye.
Hardesty? Aye. Fritz?
Aye.
You're good.
We now move to the regular agenda, item 987, please.
Accept guaranteed maximum price of $12,762,854 from HP Civil Inc. for the construction of Sullivan's Crossing Bicycle and
follow on that audit, I think you'll find it interesting.
We have an hour and 20 minutes left on our regular agenda, so if you can leave it in 15 minutes.
Hi, I'm Lester Spiller, the city's chief procurement officer. I have invited testimony from a guest, Kelly Kupchak. She's the executive director of the Oregon Tradeswomen Incorporated. So we're here for the CPO report for the Sullivan's Crossing Bicycle and Pedestrian Bridge. The authorizing ordinance was presented to council on August 29th, 2018 and approved. The estimate for construction costs at that time was $11 million. The confidence in the estimate from Portland Bureau of Transportation was low. We issued the RFP on September 14th, 2018, and we received 3 proposals in October, one from HP Civil, one from Stacy Winbeck, and one from Hamilton. It was a mandatory pre-proposal conference. Before proposals were due, we had 10 prime firms attend, and we had one certified subcontractor attend as well. Solicitations were due on October 17th. The evaluation committee consisted of 4 representatives from the Portland Bureau of Transportation and a volunteer evaluator from our minority evaluator program. HP Civil was selected as the highest scoring proposer. We awarded a pre-construction services contract to them in the amount of $187,780 on August 19th, 2019. We amended that to include an amount to allow them to purchase the steel so that we could lock in pricing due to the tariffs and the volatility in the market, as well as to make sure that we had the steel in time for the project to meet the critical path. This project is subject to the city's Community Equity and Inclusion Plan, which applies to projects between 10 and 25 million. Within that plan, the city has set very specific goals. 20% of the labor hours in each apprenticeable trade need to be worked by certified apprentices, either by a state-approved facility or a federally approved program. We have an aspirational goal for minority and women apprentice workers at 31% of the total labor hours. Of the 31%, 22% need to be employed by minority workers and 9% by women workers. We also have an aspirational goal of 28% for journey level workers for all of the trades that are worked on the project. And within that 28%, 22% should be employed by minorities and 6% by women. Also in the Community Equity Inclusion Plan, we have our traditional aspirational goal of 22% for subcontractor and supplier utilization. That is broken down by 12% going to disadvantaged business enterprises and minority business enterprises, 5% to women business enterprises, and the remaining percent can be made up in a combination of any of the certified firms. You have in your CPO report the proposed utilization from our prime contractor, HP Civil. You can see that they have engaged 7 certified firms in various areas of work, including trucking, saw cutting, signing, flagging, paving, structural seal, and curb and sidewalk. The total utilization on this project at this point is 32.99% of the overall construction cost, which exceeds our goal of 22%. We have established a committee to oversee and provide advice, recommendations, and troubleshoot the contractor and the city on this project. Kelly Kupchak, as I mentioned earlier, is a volunteer on the committee. We've had a couple meetings so far, and we feel like things are going well, and we feel like we'll be able to meet the goals on this project. We have some solutions that Kelly and others on the committee are working on our behalf, and And so we do have a path forward where we think that we'll be able to meet the goals on the project for the workforce side. For the subcontractor utilization, we're confident that HB Civil will meet the 33% utilization and possibly higher.
Thank you. I don't remember if you put your name and title into it.
Sorry, Lester Spiller, the Chief Procurement Officer.
Yes.
Good morning, and thank you, Council President and esteemed commissioners, for the opportunity to chat with you this morning about Sullivan's Crossing and the community inclusion plan and the committee that is currently, unfortunately, we just met once, but we do have our second meeting planned. My name is Kelly Kuchuk. I'm the Executive Director of Work and Tradeswomen. We are a 30-year-old nonprofit that